Hello, good evening. I'm Ursa and welcome back to my. It's been a few days and I still can't believe what we did with Bulgaria. That was just the most stupid thing. I mean, like, oh my god, how did I watched it back as I was editing the last video, and what was I doing? But you know what? It's funny little things like that. We can put this in historical context, right? Yugoslavia, a new sort of newly fascist regime, is sort of, I don't know, trying to take over the Balkans a little bit. It reckons that Sofia and this sort of western part of Hungary should when I say Hungary, I mean Bulgaria, should rightly belong to it. And it takes just a little bit of land and then goes to peace. You know, you could just, historically, if this was like a made-up version of history, you can kind of justify that. Like, and he says trying to desperately cover his ass with his own terrible decisions, but never mind. We're going to kind of stick to plan, really. I think the good thing about not having this coastline, again, trying to make it seem a bit better, the good thing about not having this coastline is that Russia and Turkey and the Allies can't really get to us from this side. What we are going to do, though, is we want to declare on Romania. Romania is our next challenge. It's a little bit of a tougher foe than Bulgaria, but if we can get to Romania, that gives us a common border with Poland, and it means we can get involved with Germany in invading here and try and take some of this southern bit of Poland. I think that would be really, really good. So that's kind of what we're going to be doing first of all. So we'll go to Romania and we're going to justify a war goal. Let's have a look and see, where do we want Muntenia? That's where the capital is. 275 days, 55 political power. I think that would be a good thing to do. Other than that, we could. What happens if we go for multiple places? Oh, it just increases our lots and lots of war goals, doesn't it? Let's go after the capital area for now. 275 days. It's going to take a little while, but it gives us more than plenty of time to get our army back up and rolling. If you remember, we are producing heavy tanks. Let's just get this rolling, actually. Reducing heavy tanks at this precise moment to get our new tank brigades in action. Hopefully, once these guys have sort of settled down a little bit. I don't need this, actually, not at all. Delete orders. Delete orders. Good. Right. Phew. Let's put these guys just on a garrison area. Yep. Perfect. These guys can just defend me for now. I don't need any specific orders to be getting rid of my troops or anything like that. There we go. I hope my exiled units have found their way to me, but you never know. So we can just sort of defend now. We've got 270 days before we go to war with Romania, so we've got plenty of time to tech up. We can have a look and see what we're losing out on. Inventory equipment, support equipment, artillery. There we go. Look, it's all settling down now that we're out of war. That's the sort of important thing. We are making enough heavy tanks, but that's going to sort of take a little while. We need some more light tanks. We need a little bit more of everything else, to be honest. But it kind of makes me think, what army have we got, and how can we upgrade it? We should probably put something in our research slot before it runs out. Improved inventory. This actually is pretty... Support weapons too. We've almost got that anyway. It's only going to be a day or two over. That's fine. Volunteer forces in transfer. Thank you, Italy. Those were very handy, he says, somewhat sarcastically. Let's have a look and see what unequipped units. It's just this heavy tank division. I don't know why I took him out of the army. Who knows? Who knows why? Why do I do anything on this game? You know, I'm just useless. Literally the worst. Tanks. Tanks. Yes, good. I should have a division just called tanks. And then we've got, this one is called Tank Crew. Why is this one called Tank Crew? I've just been mixing my armies around now. I'm going to call this one Front Line. Okay, good. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my tanks. I've got sort of a few light tank brigades in this one. And I'm holding... Come on, hold shift. He's going to learn the controls eventually of this game. And I'm going to put this into my tank army. There we go. So we've got a few regular ones going on now. What I'm also going to do is we're going to take a look at our inventory, because what I want to do is I want to be improving the inventory we've got, making really strong divisions instead of necessarily making everything what's the term? I'm not going to have a huge population. I've only got an eligible core population of 14 million, so I don't want to be going for huge units that will completely kill my manpower really quickly. What I can do, though, is I can put things like anti-tank Artillery, soft attack 30. See, artillery would be really, really good. Anti-tank would give us some pretty good hard attack, you know, to be able to sort of push forward a little bit. Organisation minus... I mean, these aren't great on organisation, particularly. What does this one need? 36 artillery, 36 anti-tank. Let's give these guys are sort of pushing, you know, just holding the line. So I'm going to give this row a line of artillery. Now, it's going to cost me tons and tons and tons of artillery. So we've actually got to switch around what we do a little bit. I'm going to move like one less heavy tank. Let's get towed artillery. I need to sort of improve you a little bit as well. Go to one fighter. Don't need those that quickly. One heavy two heavy tanks, and we'll go for loads of artillery. Perfect. That'll do for now. In the meantime as well, we're losing tungsten. We haven't got any tungsten. Typical. We should probably trade for that. I bet this... Can my allies help me out? No, not really. Right, Portugal then. Sorry, I have to trade with you. I don't particularly want to. Steel though, German Reich can help me out. I need one more of those. Good. Thank you. Unfortunately, we don't have many of these sort of factories, but that's good. We're sort of pushing ahead now. Speed up a little bit. So Croatia's building a military factory. I need a few more military factories now because, quite honestly, I don't have nearly enough. Let's sort of scatter them around a little bit. There we go. Now that we've got a few resources, we've got two whole oil refineries. So we've got a few bits of rubber and a few bits of oil now to use. That'll do us for now. Suddenly, actually, Romania is putting loads and loads of army on its borders, which ain't great. Artillery, we need 2,000 units of these, so we're going to have to be working quite hard to get those there. But for now, we're okay. Heavy tanks, actually, we don't need too many of those. Light tanks, we're doing all right. Fighters, we're doing all right. Support equipment. So, really, we're getting there. I just need more military factories, and we will get more military factories by attacking people. In short... how we're going to do it. So let's have a look at our frontline brigade. We've got basically mainly infantry, and we've got horsemen as well. So actually, let's have a look at the horsemen. What can we do with these guys? Because at the moment, these are literally just horsemen. I could put support units on. An engineer company? What do these do? What do they do? Reliability? Oh, they put extra reliability, don't they? Fort attack and defense, river attack and defense. They just basically help out. They're pretty good, to be honest, engineers. Do my infantry have those? Yeah, they do. I thought they did. What do they need for that? Infantry equipment, manpower support, lots of support equipment, effectively. Support equipment is all right, actually. I can get support equipment. So let's put an engineer company in and an artillery company in just for the cavalry. I know, but these support units, they don't affect the max speed of a division and do not increase the combat width. There we go. Anschluss. Oh, Anschluss has happened. Right, hang on. Let's just save that quickly. Right, let's have a look at Anschluss. Construction effort. Good. So here we go. Austria is now part of the German Reich. Doesn't actually do much. I played a little game with Germany, and it doesn't do much. They've got a few bits of sort of resources and a few extra factories, but really it's nothing crazy special. Infrastructure effort just helps me move around, really. It's not that good, but I want to get down to construction effort 3. That would be really good, and the extra research slots. So let's go down that. That'll do for now. Oh, I've got a purple land. Did you see that? Why is it showing purple for me? Oh, it's gone now. Who knows? So our tank brigade. Let's have a little think about what we're going to do. We want to get to Bucharest, right? That's the most important thing. Once we've taken the capital, Romania is likely to fall. So, what we're going to do is we can get our front line on the border. Front line, yeah. I know we put a defensive army unit on these guys fairly recently, but that's fine. I also need somewhere for my tanks to attack. Yeah, I'm posturing, that's good. I could get them just to attack through to Bucharest. So what I'm going to do is, with these guys, I'm going to basically hold the front line, but not all the way, not this bit. I'm going to go from here. And then, by doing that, they'll hold that particular bit of the line, and then I'm going to get an offensive line, somewhere to push, just to take this little city, and basically just to sort of push forward a little bit. We'll kind of hold this river. We don't need to sort of go further than this river, particularly. So that's where they're going to go. Just push the line forward a little bit where possible. The tank brigades is going to have this tiny little front line here. There's only 5 of the units. They're not particularly big. They don't have particularly heavy width or anything. But these guys, offensive line, I want them to come to... There's 2 cities sort of next to each other here. So I want to get to, actually, just to Bucharest. Get to Bucharest. Worry about Polotzizi after that point. So these guys will all sort of measure out on the border, and you can see almost immediately that the Romanians have a lot more units on the border. They've got artillery, they've got support equipment, they've got infantry. These guys are going to be much, much tougher to beat. Much tougher to beat. So I'm going to have to sort of look at this fairly carefully, actually. Recruit and deploy. We've got more heavy tanks coming, which are good breakthrough units. I'm sort of fairly happy about those. I'm actually going to stop them from producing any more, though, because what I will need instead is just to get these upgrades going. I've got lots of manpower. I kind of want to use the manpower a little bit, but I just have to be careful. Mechanical computing, good. Right, heavy tanks are actually pretty much there, and light tanks are pretty much there now. So let's just take one off you. We've got artillery up to 3. Okay, so now we're going to go for one more. So we need support equipment and we need inventory equipment. This is our next 2 jobs. Modify government. Got loads of the points, all of the points. Let's just think about this. We just got mechanical computing. Computing machine. Again, all bonuses to tech. I think it does help. But we could instead be getting improved inventory equipment. Let's do this. Just for now. All of these bonuses add up. Modify government, right. Volunteer only. We don't need to improve that, actually, because we've got fascism. It's good. Export focus. Aha. Resources to market. Lots of resources to market. That's not good. War economy. War economy is about as good as economy as we're going to get for now, actually. So what we'll do is we'll switch from an export focus to a limited export. So it keeps more of the luxuries for me. I think that's pretty good. We'll go to limited exports. Frees up just some of my resources. Here we go. We've got plenty more now. So it just sort of gives us a little bit more growth opportunity. Bosnia's factory is coming along nicely. Yeah, you know what? We're doing all right. We're doing all right. Okay, so the heavy tanks, that's good. We've got just sort of a small tank surplus appearing. Fighters, we're sort of starting to plug away at that deficit a little bit. Inventory equipment as well. Support equipment is back and manageable, but artillery is the one we want to focus. We need 1,900 artillery. Once we get those, I'm going to be more confident about where we are. But actually, look, do you see just how much powerful they are than me? I've got 81 strength. 81 infantry on this sort of border. And they've got 42 to 93. I think I'll be fine. I do think I'll be fine, but it's going to be tough. Really tough, actually. So, the problem with upgrading my units as I did is that they're now only experience level 2. They sort of become a little bit worse because of that. You want to make sure you don't change your units around too much. But, for now, it's good. Let's have a look at my tank brigades, actually. Can we upgrade these at all? We've got 1 tank and 3 infantry as our sort of push forward force. Support anti-tank would be good because that would give me more punch through, more hard attack. Engineer company as well would give me just sort of a little bit more bonuses to everything. Support artillery I don't particularly need. Let's go for an engineer. Oh, no. I want to focus on my heavy tanks first, I think, actually. Heavy tanks, 1 infantry, 1 heavy tank. These guys aren't the best. I'll be honest, they're not the best, but let's go for engineer company and an anti-tank, which means we're going to have to make some anti-tanks. But that's fine. We'll make some anti-tanks. So just heavy tanks. You can be making one for me consistently. Infrastructure effort construction. Oh, we wanted to get this, didn't we? Construction effort 2. Good. So, let's produce those anti-tanks. Let's get theirs in. Where are you? Toad anti-tank. Beautiful. Hopefully we're not going to need too many of these. Hang on. Come down to 1. Come down to 1 for now. Good. Right. Perfect. There you go. Got possibilities for more. Oh, unassigned divisions, heavy tanks. Oh, yeah. Join up with these guys and you know what to do. Join in here. Good. So, when exactly will we go to war? Oh, hang on. Independence of Romania is guaranteed by other nations, France and the United Kingdom. That's not good. That's not good at all. Actually, hang on. No, get away. They're guaranteed. That's really not good. It means if we go to war with them, we might pull in the Allies, unfortunately. The Allies only really have Greece, and they haven't joined up yet. So, it's a risk. The Allies can't really get to me here, so I'm fine. Hopefully things will start to kick off before then anyway.